I want to tell you about this room. Just before I do, I want to mention at the very beginning, I want to say a big thank you to my wife, Heather, my boys, Hugo and Felix, my parents, my sister and my baba, my wife's family, and on both sides, our extended family of aunts, uncles, cousins, who have been a tremendous support to me throughout my life. Many of these people I've known for all of my life, especially my parents, my sister, my baba, and I want to thank them for everything. So we'll start with them. It's funny that, and the other thing, so it's funny that this service, which is, it's not my last thing. We've got a bar mitzvah tomorrow, and we've got students next week until Wednesday. But it's fitting that there's this, this climactic, dramatic moment here, this farewell moment in this room, and I'm alone in this room talking to all of you, because with the exception of my bar mitzvah, where I had lessons from a tutor at home, actually, I spent very little time in the shul. Obviously I had my bar mitzvah at the synagogue. You probably all know that by now. But really my journey to this moment began in this room all by myself. The summer after grade 11, which for me was in 2002, I was hired for a summer job. The synagogue got a government grant to work on a project, which was to create a database and categorize all of the Yortzeit plaques in this room. If you've been in this room before, you know what it looks like. I'm not about to start panning the camera and touching Rabbi Maas's stuff. He'd never forgive me. But the power of being in the chapel are the names and the lights. The lights are lit for the entire month. So as I look around it, and there's stained glass, it's a really amazing room. And my introduction to a working life at Zedek happened 19 years ago in this very room. Larry, the custodian, who is still with us, he's about to hit 30 years soon, amazing, congratulations, mazel to Larry, brought a ladder in so that I could read the ones on the top. And I, with pencil and paper, because whatever, 2002, I recorded every Yortzeit plaque in this room. There are hundreds and hundreds. And it was used to create a database, and when you come back, there's a screen that scrolls through names, and that information led to an incredible project. But that is where my journey to this moment began. So I find it very fitting that I am again alone in this room. Not really alone, but you know what I mean. Surrounded by these names and these lights and this place. So what has happened in the last 2 decades? When I had that summer job, I could never have imagined. I don't even think that many years ago I could ever have imagined that I would be here. When I was 19, just a couple years after that, those summer jobs, I took another job that was supposed to be just for the summer as interim chazan sheni, teaching bar and bat mitzvah lessons, reading Torah on Shabbat, all holidays. At that time, it might have even been Mondays and Thursday mornings, Shabbat afternoons. It ended up being a job I did for, 17 years. That was the spring of 2004, and never in my wildest dreams could I have imagined what would have come after that. Ever since that day until this moment, Zedek has been a constant in my life, being involved in synagogue, but especially this place. When I was a university student, I had a job here. When I moved to Halifax to go to journalism school, I always came back for the high holidays, but I worked at the synagogues there. I remember arriving in Halifax and getting an email. A cousin of mine in Winnipeg says you're a Torah reader and a teacher and we need someone, and boom, there I was working at the synagogues in Halifax. Then when I returned to Winnipeg and became a radio host, I got back working here again. And then after 6 years on the radio, I decided that it was time, that the timing was right. Rabbi Maas and I studied together. We became rabbis after a year of study, and we got smicha almost 4 years ago to the day, July 1st, 2017. Took over from Rabbi Green in the year after that. But rday has always been a constant in my life, and I've been so privileged and lucky that that has been the case, because it gave me when I was on the radio and I was deciding that I was going to leave that, it was because rday was something so, the work that we were doing here was so meaningful and so special that when I wasn't totally feeling that at the radio, I knew I could feel it here, because I felt it every Saturday, every Shabbat morning. I felt it in every bar mitzvah and bat mitzvah lesson I taught, in every bar mitzvah and bat mitzvah ceremony that we had, in every wedding. And then after that, of course, in working with funerals and families, but all the things that we do. Your messages today have been overwhelming and very touching. And they remind me of how I feel. Because even earlier today, someone was asking me how I feel, and I don't really know how to describe it other than to say the feeling I feel is that I am so grateful. I'm full of thanks because I love doing this work. The synagogue, what did this constant provide? An outlet for all of these, for my creativity, for the things I'm interested in, for my love of Judaism and Hebrew and music and Torah, but especially my love of working with people of all ages. When I was 19 and I could still pretty clearly remember my own bar mitzvah, I became a bar and bat mitzvah teacher. And I've taught close to 20 years of students, some of them who are now getting married, and I'm getting to officiate their weddings. I've done weddings for a decade. What is greater than getting to be under a chuppah with a couple? And in the last 4 years, I have been graveside with dozens and dozens and dozens of families who have lost someone dear to them. Often someone I knew from the fact that I grew up here and I'm from here. These life cycle events, combined with Friday nights in recent memory and Shabbat mornings for close to 20 years, it's all about all of you. And I often on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we get bugged by my partner, Rabbi Mas, because it would take me a while to walk through the congregation following the Torah and shake hands, because I really do know everybody. From having grown up here, that's what's happened to me here. I grew up here. I've told people when I started this job, I was living in my parents' house and I couldn't grow a beard. And now I have my own house, a wife, 2 kids, and gray hair. Every day I find new gray hairs in my beard. And it's been with me all along, and so have all of you. And I just feel so grateful that you allowed me to be your rabbi in recent years and welcomed me. And for all the years that before that, where I was a chazan sheni or whatever, you welcomed me into your families and into your lives, and I'm just so grateful. I'm sorry for everyone who's sad. I'm sorry that I'm leaving and that makes a lot of people sad. You pick up quotes over the course of your life, right? And it feels so cliche, but I just keep coming back to it. Don't be sad that it's over. Be happy that it happened. I'm just so happy that I got to do all the things I got to do because of this place and because of all of you. And maybe there could have been other things down the road, but that's not the Jewish way. In the Jewish way, we celebrate what we've done together. So, lots to celebrate. So some thank yous. I thanked my family earlier because when I got to this point, I knew that it would be kind of maybe a tipping point. Thank you to Jackie Wasserman. Who was the person who hired me for the summer job that put me in this room almost 20 years ago and for the job that led me to here when I was 19. Thank you to Rabbi Leibl who's my friend, who has been here the entire journey for me, who is your rabbi, and you can follow him. He has tremendous vision, great ideas. I could not think of another person I would rather work with. I've loved working with him. I love that we study together. And I wish him all the best. As well, the people I work with on a very regular basis on the ritual team. Bill Wiseman, who's also been here from the beginning for me and longer. Leslie Emery, who has also been here from the beginning. Bonnie Robinson, who retired but still hangs around. Alice Weissman and Stacy Bazak, our ritual secretaries, and Claire Whiteman even before that. Estelle Raber, helping with Life Cycle. Robert Diddich in the office, and so many people in the office and in the kitchen and the custodial maintenance team who I have 20 years of stories, and I'm just so thankful. But especially all of you. So, where do we go from here? As sad as it is for me to leave, it became very clear to me, quickly and somewhat recently, and certainly surprisingly, that after a very long time of working here, it just wasn't the right time anymore. It was the time to move on to something else. I can't express how being a dad has changed me. I never saw it coming, and I'm very, very thankful for that as well. So I'm going to focus my career, at least for the next little while, on being at home and being a dad and a husband. But we're not moving from Winnipeg. We love it here, and we love this community. And I'm not planning on disappearing. I've got a number of weddings I'll be officiating. I intend to be around. How do you get a hold of me? Well, for those of you who have my cell phone number, it's not changing. And this email is going away, but my personal email is easy. matthew.leibl@gmail.com. Just make sure you spell it right. The spelling is there. So now you can get a hold of me. Because when I told the other rabbis in town, there's this group of us, believe it or not, we're friends, we get along. I think there's this conception that the rabbis shouldn't get along, but we do. We're the W Corps. That's my name. Winnipeg Council of Rabbis. Rabbi Alan Finkel, chairperson for life. And Rabbi Finkel, Rabbi Cleo Rose, Rabbi Benarush, and Rabbi Mas. When I told them all I was leaving the job, I said, so I guess this is kind of it. And they were like, whoa, 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 whoa. Rabbi Benarosh said, once a rabbi, always a rabbi. So I get to stay. I'm still involved with the Gray Academy through their board. As I said, I've still got a presence in the community, I hope, with weddings and other events in which I'll be able to participate. I'm just not going to be the rabbi here. But like I said, you've got a really, really good rabbi here, and really, really good people who work here, and really, really good people who go here. And those are great things. So if I get to be a rabbi forever, I became a rabbi because of this place, because of Sherry Zedek, and because of all of you. And I will never forget that. I will always cherish that. I will look back on my time here with all of you with fondness, with laughter, with pride, with warm feelings and happy thoughts, with the sense that we did some really, really great things together, things that should be celebrated, and with a tremendous sense of gratitude. And now it's time to go. So thank you.